Well, this is day 3, and I think you'll see there's a lot being done. So I've been working at this since about 9:30 this morning. I've got this bit now just to take out, and I'll come back to you when I've done that. All the Exehaven bridges are out. They'll be used again. I almost think it's part of the signature of the layout, these bridges. That one I made. I don't know quite how I'm going to use that. I'm probably going to cut that down actually a little bit. But yeah, they'll all be used back on the layout in various ways. So watch this space, and what will probably be another hour or two, we'll go and buy in a second or two. So I'll be back shortly. So a couple of hours later, and obviously a fair bit of debris. I've saved all the cork because I hadn't glued most of that down, so that was handy. But yeah, here she is, Exehaven in all of her naked glory. So as you can see, there'll be a few access holes to fill in, although they may stay, I don't know yet. I've possibly, and I say possibly, almost certainly, Exehaven Harbour will be 2 levels. One will be slightly higher than the other. So you'll see that take shape. So what I may actually do is just build over the top of these access holes, which obviously will allow me to get underneath of the baseballs that will be on top. Now, I don't know whether you can see right at the back there. Fortunately, I've saved boxes and boxes of Stella, empty Stella Artois boxes. They're full up with bits and pieces of wood. So, and behind them are about 2 or 3 sheets of ply and other bits and pieces that I can use to cover up the holes and fill in the holes as well. So yeah, I mean, it has taken me all day, and it is probably about getting on for 2:30 in the afternoon now, and I started at about 9:30 this morning, and the whole top level is off, and I'm quite pleased with that progress, because now this means we're now starting to get to the nitty gritty of actually restarting it again. Obviously there's this bit here, right across there. We'll go back a foot and take a foot of that out. Here at the front, this is a 4 foot wide board, but this is okay because I can get to both sides of it. Obviously I can get to it this side where my modelling desk is, and one day, and it's much easier to access than the backboards, unfortunately. So yeah, taking that foot out of there will give me much better access, and that will be helpful in the years to come. Now then, probably I have got a track plan. It's in my head. It's pretty straightforward, but well, it's straightforward in my head, and it will resemble the London Underground map, really, which just shows you where places are. It's sort of it's a representation of how the lines go, whereas that's the same as what's in my head at the moment, and it will depend on the room and how I go about putting the track down. But anyway, this part here, where we are now, where all this mess is, will be Exehaven Harbour Station, and the tracks will go out from there and obviously spread around the layout. There'll be a main line, double track main line that will do a loop-the-loop and connect up with the harbour station. It will also connect up with the local freight inter-regional line, which will run out there too, which will be double track main line. And if I can, and I'm really hoping that I can, there will be a little single track line that will weave its way round, and it will come right round this side, I think, and right through here, and there'll be a little village, Exehaven Bay, that'll be there-ish in my head. And the track will run right round. Well, this part will be part of the harbour now, but it will run right through there and find its way into Exehaven Harbour station. But what I plan to do is have it on a shuttle, so that it will go back and forth all the way from there, right round the back, weave its way round and into Budleigh Regis, which will sit down that end. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm not quite sure what you'll see next, but it'll be different to this. And it will be probably Wednesday when I get to it, which is not tomorrow but the next day. And I'll decide what I'm going to do then. So I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers. Right, good morning everybody, and I thought this bit might be a bit of interest. This is the section, if you remember, at the back there we had the two big girder bridges. Obviously they've gone now, and there'll be two of these. I've got to order another one from Scenic. I rather like these bridges. They'll be raised slightly. I don't know how far yet, I've got to work that out. But this is going to be the drop section for the estuary river that flows into, let's call it Budleigh Regis Bay, as it will be now. So fortunately what I've done with this, it's all screwed in from the top, so I can take this out and I can cut this board in the right way so that I can get the river in there. My intention is once I get to this point and scenicking it, there'll be something like sculptor mould used to give it the contours. I can't think of the words. Oh, you get on camera, you forget the words. And I'm also thinking about not doing resin as well, but that's a way ahead. I've seen a couple of people do it now, and I'll talk more about that probably nearer the time. And I'll probably need to practice it as well first. But anyway, a little bit easier going than resin and a bit less worrisome. But we'll see about that. So stick with me. I'm going to take this apart, and of course, what will probably be about an hour or so, it will be seconds in the next segment of this video. So this bit's coming out, going to cut that down, drop it, and then we'll see what's going on as I go. Okay, so I'll speak to you shortly. Okay, so welcome back. 3 hours or so later. I started off 4 centimetres and end gauge is about 20 foot, and I thought, well, I'll have a 4 centimetre drop and that'll be perfect. And then I realised that the bridge actually needs to be sort of sit down a lot lower, otherwise I'm going to need a lot of lot more gradients to get the trains around and up to the bridge, which I don't particularly want to do. So anyway, then I went about setting these up, got my maths wrong, put it all together, put it in, and of course the bridge was all wrong, it didn't fit, it was all wrong. So, done it all again, and now I've got it right, but it's not right. This is, the riverbed here is way down too low. This needs to be cut back if I needed to get some sort of banking. But now I'm going to have to go and have a ponder. If I haven't thought of anything by the time this goes out Friday, in the next segment of the video I will probably ask for some fresh eyes, fresh ideas. The only thing that I can think of is obviously to cut these sections back so that I get a chance to do a bank, and I raise this a little bit and bring this up, because that's way too deep. But the trouble is, just over here out of shot will be Budleigh Regis, and there will be a beach there, and the beach will be higher than the river, and that won't look good. So we may have to cut this river section out and just make it a flat board again. And the way that I'm thinking at the moment, that's the way that I'm going to lean to that, I think, because yeah, that's certainly not what I want. It's a shame really, because we need that river to come in there. What I might do is actually get some more bridges, but lower. But then I want a bridge high enough for the for some fishing boats to go underneath. It's about compromise, isn't it? But it's what's nice about it actually, even though it's wrong, is that my woodwork is much better. I can cut a straight line. My jigsaw works quite well now. And you know, apart from me getting my maths wrong, the measuring was fine, even though my maths was wrong. But yeah, I think this is going to have to come back up and just be a flat level, and we'll get some other type bridges that sit lower, and we'll do something anyway. I'm playing golf tomorrow. I'm going to have a good ponder now. Obviously play golf tomorrow. Come back to fresh Wednesday after I've had and think about it, and we'll take it from there. But if in the next segment, which will be Wednesday, I haven't thought of anything else, then perhaps some of you guys can come up with an idea or two for me. But it is it's a bit annoying really, because it's not bad, but it's not in the right situation. So yeah. So we'll leave it at that for now, and I'll come back to you in the next segment, which obviously for you will be nothing, and for me it will be a day at least. Well, the rest of the day, bank holiday Monday and Tuesday, and I'll be back Wednesday. Okay guys, so kind of a wasted day, but kind of not. I had to try it just to see what it looked like. So anyway, we'll leave it there. Okay, catch you soon. Okay, so final segment to this video. When we left in the last segment, I was a bit unhappy because it was a bit too deep, the river, because I wanted to fit the let me show you. I wanted to fit this iron bridge in, but it is actually too high for what I want to do. It'll go somewhere else on the layout. But what we're going to do, and you'll have to imagine it for now, because it won't be like that. They look like a couple of swing bridges at the moment, the girder bridges, but they will be at roughly the same level or a little higher, because I've got a Scow Scenes fishing boat that I want to make sure that it gets under there, and I think it will. I think it's with the mast it's about 4 centimetres tall, maybe a little bit higher, but this is about 5 centimetres I believe, and if I raise that up another centimetre, then that should be more than enough clearance for that Scow Scenes boat. It's something that I'm going to build, I hope, over this weekend. I've got some new ink for the printer, so we'll get on with that a bit later this afternoon. But yeah, I'm much happier with that. That seems much more like it. I've made it wider. It's my second attempt at doing it. For some reason, I don't know why, I seem to get my measurements wrong the first time. And it wasn't much wrong, don't get me wrong. but it wasn't quite right, and this is the second attempt, so it's taken me much longer than I thought, but we're there now. It's pretty solid. There is a gap going through there because I'm using that wood that I've got. Now, I think I might have mentioned it earlier, I'm probably not going to do a resin pour. I'm going to try something else, because I think for a resin pour that would be quite big, and I've seen a couple of people use perspex, and I'm going to get a sheet of perspex on there, and then we'll build up some little ripples, either using, of course straight away, the name of it escapes me, but I can't remember, but we'll build up some ripples using some glue, and I can't remember what it's called for the life of me. You'll know, and I'll probably put a little thing along the bottom there just to say. But yeah, and I've seen it done, and it's very effective. And you paint the bottom of the perspex, and you can shade it out to how you want it. I can even raise it a little so that it might show some rocks underneath the water around the edges. So there's a lot of ways of going about that. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So we're going to call it a day on this one. Thanks again for all your support. The last video's done pretty well, and quite a few more subscribers have come on board. So thank you all for doing that. That's amazing. Maybe it's because I'm starting again, and you like seeing it built from scratch. I'm hoping in the next week that I can start laying some track. Actually, Mrs. Exehaven is actually away this weekend, and which does give me a little bit more of an opportunity to get out. All I've got to do now, there's a couple more holes. You can see one right over there, and then there's one. That one over there is not going to be filled in. There's one behind me, just behind my head, I think. That won't be filled in because I think I'm going to use that as the entrance to the underground yard that I will build. But there's a couple more holes here to fill, but that doesn't take too long, and I should get them done in the morning, and that will be my next job really, and then we'll go from there. But I'm quite keen on getting on, and I can't wait to get on laying track. One of these tracks, and I think the mainline track, will be slightly higher than the other one. Now, I think it was Marklin of Sweden I watched quite some time ago, and I think it was just an overview of his layout basically, but he was talking about a parade track, which is where he can run his locos round, and they sort of, I don't know, I think it's a European thing, a parade track, so you can correct me on that. I don't really know, but yeah, but it was slightly higher, and of course you can see the trains running around, so I might use that as my parade track, as it were, but for the mainline trains, and they'll just go round and round and round in a good way. yet to be worked out finally, but it's in my head, and we'll see if that works out. The local line, or cross-country line, whatever you may want to call it, that will weave in and out. That will go to different areas of the layout, and obviously give me more scenic opportunities there. I'm also planning from Budleigh Regis to have a dedicated line, a shuttle line, which will wend its way round and run into Exehaven Harbour through another little station on the way, which will probably be Exehaven Bay. So that'll be interesting. I know that DCC Concepts do an ABC chip, and I'm interested in using that, so we'll get that, and that can just run backwards and forwards, and that just gives a little bit of added interest as all the other trains are running. So, you know, you could have 5 trains running at once, which will be really good. So that's it. Let's wind it up. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon. Cheers for now. Cheers.